Hi, everybody, and welcome inside the New York Bobcats locker room here at the Twin Rinks. Carmine Vetrano with you, and alongside me is New York Bobcats head coach Craig DeRemus, who's with us on the coach's corner. And Craig, I know it's been quite some time since the last time we've had one of these, so let's get right into it. The New York Bobcats last weekend split with the Connecticut Nighthawks and New Jersey Rockets. Before we get into that, the club was able to have a nice little win streak going, heading into that Nighthawks game. We're able to make it 4 in a row. That was a game, though, against the Nighthawks that, was scoreless going into the third. You guys were able to walk away with a 4-1 victory. But, Connecticut Nighthawks, a team struggling right now, expansion team, trying to find identity. Just take us through that, through that game and just, the positives in a way to not hit that panic button. Again, scoreless heading into the third to walk away with the 4-1 victory.
Absolutely, and like you said, much credit goes to their team and their goaltender, Jordan Bastardi, played well for them throughout. They've gone through a coaching change recently, and they've really done a good job. If you look at some of their closer results here, they've played some top teams really strong, and they actually defeated the Wolfpack in overtime the weekend before. So it's something we spoke to our club about during the week, and we wanted to make sure we're prepared to do so. I'm proud of the club and the way they stuck with it and our game plan and what we wanted to do going into the third period on Sunday. We're able to get 3 goals and an empty netter, come away with a 4-1 victory.
Well, the next day, you guys then head down to New Jersey to take on the Rockets. Second time you played them in a span of 2 weeks. The last time it was here, on home ice, and you guys, in a way had a nice little cushion there before they made it a 1-goal game. You were able to hold on for the victory in front of a nice home crowd. But, that was a game I know that you kind of like to forget. It was a tough, lopsided one there. You were able to bring it to a 1-goal deficit. It was they jumped out to a 6-1 lead. Then it was 6-5, and but again, it was a little bit too late. They were able to ice the victory. Able to switch goaltenders in that game. I know maybe to try something different, but again, positively, some positive things where again you're able to come back down 5 goals to bring within 1. But just take us through that game.
Nah, aside from a 5-minute span in the second period, didn't play that poorly. We had some mental lapses during that time, and it really ended up costing us big time. Like you said, coming out of a 6-1 deficit, it's a tough mountain to climb, and we had a questionable goal called back that would have evened the game before they took a 2-goal lead there late in the third. So frustrating, yes. You know that if the team gets rid of that 5-minute lapse, you're probably walking away with 2 points rather than none. But at the same time, I think when you look at some of the positive you want to take out of there, that when we played the way we should and we played the way we're trained, I thought we dominated for the most part. So obviously a little bit disappointed, but we had them twice coming up in the next month, so hopefully we can redeem ourselves.
Well, switching now to the player side of things, a couple of commitments. Tommy Dunn, assistant captain, he commits to SUNY Fredonia. They play in arguably one of the best conferences in all of NCAA Division III up in that SUNYAC. And last year, Sean Geary, he commits up there, and so that's 2 Bobcats now within that program. Again, just take us through what Tommy's meant for the organization. I know from the start of it, he said he's a pro on and off the ice, and again, just take us through the talks between him and Fredonia.
I just couldn't be more happy of Thomas and the Dunn family. Tommy's been through a difficult junior career. It's been long, it's been hard, it's been difficult. He's battled injuries throughout, and for the first time, he's been healthy for us this year, knock on wood. And I'm happy that he was able to achieve this dream. I think Fredonia was a target school for him, one that he looked at for an opportunity academically and athletically, and we're happy that he was able to achieve that. I think he'll be a great addition to their program, both on and off the ice, like you mentioned. He's the quintessential pro, low maintenance guy, shows up to the rink every day, does his work, does it the right way, and you don't have to coddle him and baby him like you do some of the other kids this age.
You take a look to as well, an alum, Joe McGuire, defenseman. He's been a Bobcat for a couple of years. He was with the club last year before getting that call to the USHL, and he's now with the Sioux Falls Stampede. Earlier today, he commits to Brown University. I know you've had a good relationship with Joe and the McGuire family, and again, another line of Bobcats to to make that jump to again, not only USHL but to NCAA Division hockey, and again, for a kid like Joe to to take that step, commit Division I, ECAC, another great league in NCAA hockey. So just again, if you have a chance to talk to Joe, or maybe just how you found out about his commitment to Brown.
I did speak to Joe, and I spoke to the staff at Brown this morning. They're excited to have him. Joe's excited to be part of the Brown family, and looking forward to getting up there. Again, I think when you see a kid like Joe McGuire, he takes the right path, comes to the Bobcats, plays, develops, grows and learns on and off the ice, and then is able to go to the USHL last year in season, and then ultimately now get the Division I commitment that he was seeking for a long time. He has a long season to go at Sioux Falls. He's developing really nicely and doing a good job there, and I'm sure whenever he arrives on Brown campus, he'll be ready to play a big role in their team.
Well, right now, the club's heading into that Thanksgiving break as we sit here in an empty locker room. I know a lot of the guys going home here. And, before we get into next month's play, Is this the break you think the team needs right now? I mean, a lot of hockey's been played since August here, and again, the entire league has gone through it. But as you know, being at this level for quite some time, it gets to a point where maybe they hit a wall. Is this maybe what you've seen from the club?
Nah, I think whether we need it or not, it was going to happen. I can't stress enough that myself and Coach Dorico, we don't lose sight of the fact that they are young men, they are kids, they have families that they haven't seen since August. So I think it's important that they spend time with their loved ones during the holidays. Yes, is it a mental break? Absolutely. I also think physically it's a good break for a week to be off the ice and the grind and pounding of skating every day. So we know we have some guys in the locker room who are nicked up and knacked up, and credit to these guys, they don't want to take a day off. They come to the rink every day ready to work and battle hard in practice and games, and for them it's almost some forced rest right now. So I think it'll be a good opportunity for our guys to rest up and be ready for the next month here. 5 big games coming up on the horizon.
Well, you talk about the 5 big games coming up, and for what it's worth, too, you take a look at the EHL South. I mean, a couple of points separate, second, third, fourth place. You guys are right in the mix. You guys come back from the break with a game against the Hartford Junior Wolfpack, and again, as you mentioned, some quality opponents here coming up. But they're a team right now that's obviously rivals. I mean, from day one, given the history between the two clubs. I know it starts now. I know the preparation starts now, especially with you and Coach Dorico. But taking a look, from that game and then moving forward to Junior Flyers, Little Fly. I mean, quality opponents coming up. Just what's the thought process now for the guys to get back to again, right the ship in a way and start the month on a W.
I think you hit it on the head. I mean, credit to our league, and I've said it from day one. The league this year, the coaches, the owners, the players. Everyone deserves a lot of credit for how tight our league is. I think it speaks volumes about the level of hockey and hockey players we have. The South Division and the North Division are both very tight. Any team can beat anyone on any given day, and again, I think that's a credit to our league and really where it's going. I don't think there's many leagues across the country, whether it's in junior or youth, can look at the depth that we have in our league with quality teams and quality hockey players. For our players, we know every game is going to be tough, whether it's Hartford, the Little Flyers, Applecore, whoever it may be on that day. So our players will be ready to go. Like you said, we'll start our preparation this week after the holiday and get some video and some film ready for the Wolfpack. But they're a familiar opponent. Coach Sorella and I know each other a long time, and we have a mutual respect for each other. I'm sure it'll be a really intense playoff-like game.
All right. Enjoy the holiday. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
All right, fans, for New York Bobcats' upcoming schedule, and as well as a look around the Eastern Hockey League, you could go to nybobcats.com.